As I pointed out when we introduced Persepolis, we do see this processional frieze. And this is very late, so we're 521 to 465 BCE. We're right during the time that the Persians are going to go ahead and famously invade Greece. And what we're seeing is another show of power, another element of propaganda. These reliefs would have decorating the walls are of Persian nobles and dignitaries. And we see a procession bringing the king tribute or his payment from those running the outlying areas. And again, we see it here in the distance. It's one of the few images you can see where you can see the entire processional frieze. And it's really a remarkable piece. First of all, what you see are national costumes. We will see figures that are laid out with different outfits. Yes, many are the same, many are different. The ones that are the same are groups traveling together, but it gives a sense of power, of the full extent of the Persian Empire. Oftentimes, they're carrying a regional gift for the king. And we see a lot of technical prowess here. These would have been painted. It would have stood out. By the way, all of these structures would have been painted, as you can see in this reconstruction. We do have traces of color. We know that it was there, and it would have made it stand out. So when you walk past, you couldn't miss what it was. The Persian forms are much rounder than what we have seen in the past. And interestingly, while we maintain the composite figures, so the feet forward, head forward, but chest facing in many figures, others are in strict profile. And if we look, we're actually starting to see something rather different, which is we're starting to see a body underneath. Look at this arm. We get the sense of the arm underneath the robe, which is very different from what we've seen thus far. It's showing a great deal of technicality. It's showing a much rounder form. We also see fairly high relief here. Now, because of the size of the images, it doesn't look as high as it really is when you look at from an angle. But yet it is, and that gives it a sense of power, a sense of realism that most don't have. And we have this idea of that substantial form underneath, which is important. It's a Greek idea that's coming to the Persians. This idea that the body needs to show through the clothing. Otherwise, you end up with our stick figure like we're so used to in other forms. So how many of you did this when you were a kid? You draw your stick figure. Here he is. Stick figure. And now I want to put clothes on him, right? And I'm going to do this. I'm going to kind of draw a t-shirt like that. Down, up, over. And the t-shirt has nothing to do with the body. That's what we're used to seeing. Here, they're starting to take into account that body form underneath the robe, giving it a greater sense of realism, and probably, again, borrowing from the Greeks and other civilizations. So, really a remarkable piece. Now, in 330 BCE, Persia will fall to Alexander the Great, and the conquest and a long period of Hellenistic or Greek rule, and then Roman conquest. But we will come back to the Persians in a way later on.